If you're over 65, the next time you walk into a hospital, somebody is going to hand you a clipboard and ask you to sign a few routine papers. Don't sign a single thing until you've heard me out, because there are 5 traps in that building that don't have one thing to do with your health. They have to do with your money and your recovery. And they catch good, careful people every single day for one reason: nobody ever taught them the words to say. I'm 104 years old, and I've watched it happen to people I love. So today, I'm going to teach you those words. Mabel Rose Thompson here, 104 years old. Now, let me say this plainly first, because I will not have you hearing me wrong. I am grateful for hospitals. A surgeon saved my daughter's life in 1954, and I thank God for that room and that man every day I've had her since. When you're truly sick, you go and you let them help you. But I'm going to tell you something. It took me a long life to learn. The doctors in that building are usually trying to save you, and the system around them is set up in ways that can quietly cost you your savings and your recovery. Those are 2 different things, and you have to protect yourself from the second one even while you're grateful for the first. And I'll tell you what I am not. I am no doctor, you know that, and I am no lawyer either. I'm just an old woman who's paid attention and watched too many friends get hurt by things nobody warned them about. So take what I give you today, write it down, and then check it for yourself. Call Medicare at 1-800-MEDICARE. Look at medicare.gov, and know this: every hospital has a patient advocate, a social worker, a case manager, good people whose whole job is to help you with exactly this, for free. Ask for them by name. That's your first secret right there. And this is my only channel, Real Talk with Time. If an old woman in your corner is worth something to you, subscribe and stay close, because I've got more of these than I've got mornings left. Now, let's count them down from 5 to 1, and I saved the biggest one for last. Trap number 5, the doctor you never met and the bill you never saw coming. You do everything right. You pick a good hospital. You check that it takes your insurance. You feel safe. And then 3 weeks later, an envelope comes with a bill for $1,400 from a doctor whose name you've never heard. The hospital took your insurance, but the fellow who read your scan or put you to sleep for your procedure had his own separate arrangement, and he didn't. And now they say, that's your problem. Here's the truth, plainly. If you have plain old Medicare, the doctors who take Medicare already can't come after you like that for much you have protections. And if you're on a Medicare Advantage plan or a private insurance plan, there's a federal law now, the No Surprises Act, that shields you from a lot of these out-of-nowhere, out-of-network bills. But the rules are different depending on which coverage you carry, and I'm not going to stand here and pretend I can recite them all. So here's what you actually do. Before a planned procedure, you ask, plain as day, will every doctor who treats me take my insurance? Will I get billed by anyone who doesn't? And for anything scheduled ahead of time, you say, I'd like a good faith estimate of the cost in writing, please. And if a surprise bill shows up later that doesn't smell right, you do not just pay it in fear. You call your plan, you call the number on that bill, and you ask whether it's even allowed. Half of them melt away the moment somebody questions them. I want to hear from you down in the comments. Has one of these bills ever landed in your mailbox weeks after a hospital visit for a doctor you don't even remember? Tell me what happened. Somebody else watching is about to get one, and your story might be the thing that saves them. Trap number 4, the goodbye that comes too soon. Hospitals have people leaning on them to move patients out of those beds quick. And sometimes that means the doctor walks in and says, you're doing well enough to go home, and because it's the doctor saying it, you nod, and you get dressed, and you go. And 3 days later, you fall getting out of the shower, or the wound won't heal, or you're right back in the emergency room, which costs 5 times what those extra couple of days would have. Now here's the thing, hardly anybody knows, and it's a gift. If you're on Medicare, you have the right to fight a discharge you don't feel ready for. When they put you in that bed, they're supposed to hand you a paper called The Important Message from Medicare. Keep it. It has a phone number on it for something called a QIO, a review office. If they try to send you home too soon, you call that number and you file a fast appeal, and while it's being reviewed, they cannot legally push you out the door. The words you say are these: I don't feel medically ready to go home safely, and I want to file an expedited appeal. Please bring me my important message from Medicare and the QIO number. I knew a woman, Margaret, a retired librarian, had her hip done, and on day 2 they were already talking about sending her home. Her daughter knew to ask for the case manager and mentioned that appeal. The whole tone in the room changed. Margaret got 2 more days to get steady on her feet. She told me after, I'd have fallen the first night. I know I would have. Those extra 2 days were sitting there the whole time. She just had to know to ask. Trap number 3, the switcheroo with your own medicine. Here's one that starts before you even leave the house. Every hospital has its own pharmacy with its own list of the brands it keeps on the shelf. And your medicines, the blood pressure pill, the heart pill, the thyroid pill they spent months getting just right for your body might not be on that list. So they swap it. A different brand, a different version, and sometimes nobody tells you clearly it even happened. For an old body, especially an old heart, a sudden switch like that is no small thing. Dizziness, blood pressure swinging, a rhythm gone wrong. So here's how you protect yourself, and you can do this today, before you ever need it. Keep a written list of every single thing you take, the exact name, the exact dose, the exact time of day. Vitamins too. Carry it in your wallet and give a copy to whoever's with you. And when you're admitted, you hand that list over and you say, please do not switch or change any of my regular medicines without telling me and my family first. That puts it on them to come to you before, not after. Trap number 2, the form they rush you to sign. Walk in for an admission, and within minutes somebody's got a stack of papers in your face. Consent forms, privacy forms, and buried in there somewhere, a page about you being responsible for whatever your insurance doesn't cover. And you sign it. Of course you sign it. You're scared, you're hurting, somebody's standing there waiting on the clipboard. That's exactly when they hand it to you, and that is no accident. Now, I'm not going to give you some magic sentence to scribble on it, because I've heard those tricks and I don't trust that they hold up. Here's what actually protects you, and it's simpler and it's real. You slow it down. You are allowed to. You say, I'd like to read this before I sign. Would you explain what this part means? And I'd like to speak with a patient advocate. You are never required to sign in a panic. If something says you'll owe for whatever isn't covered, ask them straight. What might not be covered, and what would that cost me? Get an estimate. And if a bill comes later that you believe is wrong, you don't just pay it, you can question it, you can appeal it, and the hospital's own financial counseling office and your Medicare or plan can help you do it. A signature scared out of you at intake is not the last word. Your right to question the bill comes after 2. Trap number 1, the one word that can cost you $20,000. Here it is, the big one, the one I've watched wreck a family's savings and almost nobody sees it coming because it hides behind a single word, observation. You can lie in a hospital bed for 3-4 nights. You've got a room, a care team, meals, machines beeping all night. You would swear on the Bible you were admitted. But on paper, they may have you down as being there under observation, which counts as an outpatient, even lying in that bed. And here is why that one word is so dangerous. With plain Medicare, the part that pays for your rehab afterward, a stay in a nursing facility to get your strength back, only kicks in after you've been formally admitted as an inpatient for 3 days. And not one single hour of observation counts toward that 3 days. So a man, I'll call him Robert, like my own, comes in with chest pain, stays 4 nights, goes home, needs rehab. And the bill for that rehab comes to $22,000 out of his own pocket because Medicare says he was never admitted. 4 nights in that bed, and on paper, he was never really there. He told his family, nobody said that word to me, not once. If somebody had, I'd have asked them to fix it. So you say the words, early. The moment you're settled in that bed, am I admitted as an inpatient or am I here under observation? If they say observation, you say, I'd like my status reviewed for inpatient admission. Please have the doctor or case manager look at it. And you ask, may I have my moon notice? That's the Medicare outpatient observation notice. And they're required to give it to you in writing, usually within a day and a half, whenever you're kept under observation. Asking for it by name tells them you know exactly what's going on. And one kindness, if you're on a Medicare Advantage plan, some of them waive that 3-day rule. So ask your plan, because your answer may be different. So write these down tonight, before this fades the way things do. 5 little questions that's your whole hospital protection plan. Am I admitted as an inpatient or under observation? And ask for the moon notice. I'd like my status reviewed for inpatient admission. Will every doctor who treats me take my insurance? Please don't switch my regular medicines without telling me first. I'd like to read this before I sign and to speak with a patient advocate. Keep that list where you can find it fast. Put it in your purse, in your phone, on the refrigerator. But I'll tell you the truth underneath all 5 of them, the same truth I always come back to. Not one of these questions is easy to ask when you're the one lying in that bed, scared and hurting and foggy. Which is why the real protection was never a magic sentence at all. It's a person, somebody who loves you, sitting in that room, holding the list, asking the questions your own mouth is too tired to ask. So don't wait until the ambulance comes to find out who that person is. Mend the friendship you let go quiet. Call the child you've drifted from. Be somebody who has somebody before you need them. Because one day it won't be a video. It'll be you in that bed. And what you'll want more than any doctor or any dollar is one familiar face in the doorway who knows your name and won't be rushed. I'm 104 years old. I'm no doctor and no lawyer. Call Medicare, ask that patient advocate, and check what I've told you. But I know this much for certain. Take care of the one body and the one savings you were given, and never, ever go in there alone. Now go on. Go call the person you'd want standing in that doorway, and go call your mama while you still can. Mabel Rose Thompson, 104 years old, still here, still watching out for you. Subscribe and share this with somebody you love. It might be the thing that protects them. I love you all.